Close your eyes for a second. Imagine you're standing on a narrow arch of steel. The wind here is fierce. If you look down, there is nothing but air for 359 meters. That is 29 meters taller than the Eiffel Tower. You are in the Himalayas standing on the cloud piercer. Now, snap your fingers. You are plunging into the cold, dark waters of the Yellow Sea. But you aren't in a submarine. You are inside a deep-sea elevator, descending into the belly of a giant metallic starfish that feeds cities. Welcome to Curious Minds. I'm Arjun, and today we aren't just talking about buildings. We are talking about the moments where nature screamed no, and human engineers whispered back, "Watch us." We often think of technology as silicon chips and invisible code, but sometimes technology is 27,000 tons of steel held together by sheer willpower. Today, we are exploring engineering extremes. We are going to visit two specific coordinates on Earth where humanity has conquered the impossible. First, we travel to the Riyasi district in India to walk across the Chenab rail bridge, a lifeline carved into the sky. Then, we'll sail to Yantai, China to board the Genghai No. 1, a floating island that thinks for itself. Why do these matter? Because they prove a single transformative idea. Survival in the future isn't about fighting nature with concrete. It's about adapting to it with intelligence. The cloud piercer and the starfish. Let's go one by one. First, the cloud piercer in India. Let's start with a geography lesson that would make most construction managers quit on the spot. We are in the Kashmir Valley. For decades, this region has been physically cut off from the rest of India. To get from Udhampur to Srinagar, you had to rely on a highway that snow often shuts down for weeks in winter. That means no trade, no apples getting out, and no supplies getting in. Enter the Chenab rail bridge. This project was conceived back in 2004, but the location was such a nightmare that intensive construction only truly ramped up in 2017. The Chenab River Valley is a seismic zone 5. That is the highest level of earthquake activity. Before they could even pour a single drop of concrete, engineers had to carve extensive access roads through treacherous mountains just to reach the site. This wasn't a quick job. Thousands of workers and engineers battled this terrain for nearly 2 decades. They faced delays, safety halts, and wind speeds that could blow a crane off a cliff. But finally, on June 6, 2025, the bridge was inaugurated, marking the end of a long wait. They succeeded because they had a secret weapon. Her name is Dr. G. Madhavi Latha. She is a geotechnical expert from the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore who dedicated 17 years to this project. When you build a skyscraper in London, you look at the blueprints, dig a hole and build. But the Himalayas don't follow blueprints. Dr. Madhavi and her team faced fractured rock and hidden cavities deep inside the mountain that no map predicted. So instead of forcing a rigid design, she pioneered a design-as-you-go method. They were literally redesigning the slope stabilization in real time, adapting to every crack the mountain revealed. And here is the secret tech. How do you make a bridge survive a massive earthquake? You don't make it strong. You make it flexible. The massive steel arch sits on spherical bearings. Think of them like giant ball and socket joints like your hip. When the earth shakes, the bridge doesn't snap. It sways. It slides. It dances with the earthquake. And it's not just nature they had to worry about. Given the region's turbulent security history, this bridge had a terrifying requirement. It had to be blast-proof. Engineers used 63mm thick special steel. The design is so robust that even if one of the piers is damaged by a high-intensity blast, the bridge will not collapse. In fact, trains can still pass over it at 30 kilometers an hour. That is engineering as a shield. Why go to this trouble? Was it for a Guinness World Record? No, it's strategic. It's about ensuring that a train carrying apples, cement, or people can move 365 days a year, regardless of snow or storms. Think about the apple farmers in Kashmir. With this bridge completing the rail link, their produce can now reach distant markets like Mumbai significantly faster, often in 24 to 36 hours compared to days by truck. That speed drastically reduces spoilage, develops trade and commerce. It is engineering as a lifeline. Next one, Starfish in China. Now let's leave the thin air of the Himalayas and drop down to sea level. We are moving to the Yellow Sea off the coast of Yantai in Shandong province. Picture this. You are looking out at the ocean and you see a giant metallic structure floating on the water. From above, it looks like a necklace made of diamonds with a flower-shaped center. This is Gengai number 1. It's not a ship, it is an intelligent marine ranch. Just how big is this thing? The necklace is a floating walkway that stretches 400 meters, encircling a water body larger than 3 football fields. I repeat, larger than 3 football fields. Built by the China Shipbuilding Industry Corporation, this facility represents a massive shift in how we view food security. They call it the Blue Granary. Why? Because land is limited. You can't grow infinite crops on finite soil. But the ocean is open. And why not just use fishing ships? Because ships hunt, and hunting is unpredictable. Genghai farms. It provides stability. Supported by a hydraulic piling system, it stands firmly in the water, designed to withstand super typhoon class winds, specifically level 14 on the Beaufort scale. Meet the modern farmer. He doesn't cast nets blindly. He sits in a control room, below the surface, inside 3 massive cages, each 40 meters in diameter. There are 200,000 fish. Using 5G underwater robots and sonar, the team knows exactly when the fish are hungry and when they are sick. This precision allows them to produce 150,000 kilograms of fish every year. And thanks to automation, a cage that once needed dozens of people can now be overseen by just 4 workers. But the coolest part? This island is a self-sustaining ecosystem. The necklace walkway is adorned with wind turbines and solar panels that generate power for the facility. And it cleans itself. Using anti-fouling technology, it processes waste, so zero pollution enters the ocean. And yes, it's for people too. Opened in 2023, it hosts 50,000 visitors a year. Regular people can board this platform, eat at a restaurant, and take that deep-sea elevator right into the water column. It turns industrial farming into a sci-fi adventure. So why have I brought you to these 2 extremes? The cloud piercer in India and the starfish in China. One conquers the air, the other conquers the sea. But they share the same soul. Both of these structures solve a basic human need: connection and food by conquering a hostile environment. But they didn't do it by brute force. Dr. Madhavi didn't fight the mountain, she listened to it. The engineers at China Shipbuilding Industry Corporation didn't just exploit the ocean. They built a system that cleans it. This is the pivot point for humanity. We are moving from the age of conquest, where we pave over nature, to the age of adaptation, where we build things that act like biology. Flexible, smart, sustainable. The next time you eat an apple from Kashmir or a fish from the Yellow Sea, I want you to pause. Think about the struggle it took to get that to you. Why go through 20 years of digging roads into a cliff face? Why build a floating lab in the middle of the ocean? Because isolation is dangerous and hunger is real. These aren't just feats of engineering vanity. They are the lengths we will go to keep each other connected and fed. It is 27,000 tons of steel, yes, but it is held together by the sheer will of people who refuse to let the mountain or the sea say no. So here is my challenge to you for next week. Look around your city. Look at a tunnel, a high-rise, or even a simple storm drain. Ask yourself, what problem is this solving? And what hostile force is it holding back? You might find that the most amazing stories aren't just in history books. They are in the concrete right beneath your feet. I'm Arjun, and this is Curious Minds Podcast. Keep looking up, keep looking deep, stay curious, stay kind.